We have another great speaker. Following, this is Cansel Soragens. She is an executive coach and founder of OKR Lean Coffee. She is a pioneer in outcome-focused OKRs, objective key results. If by any chance any of you haven't heard about it.
How many of you know about objectives and key results? Okay.
There you go.
So, Cansel is really a guru in this domain. She is the most experienced person that I know in OKRs, and not only. So, if you want to learn more about connecting strategy to execution, defining goals that you not just define but actually achieve, this is your session, and enjoy.
And she also will be presenting her own model that you'll be able to implement directly. Welcome on stage, Cansel.
Thank you. And I'm really happy to be here. Last year I missed it. I wasn't able to come. But this year I booked it already last year, let's say. So my topic today is how do we connect strategy with execution? How do we get from strategy to results? So I hope you are fit and want to have some exercise, because I brought some exercise for you. Stand up if your team's work feels disconnected from the strategy. Yeah, very eager ones I see there, yeah. All right, thank you. So let's see. Stand up if you measure KPIs but don't actually know why. Yeah. Thank you. The last question. Have you ever seen a top priority project, then lost all attention all of a sudden? Exactly, yeah. And we are not alone. I'm not alone, you are not alone, we all have it, and the statistics actually prove it too. So according to some statistics, I don't know, there are many of those, but this is a collection of McKinsey, HBR, and so on. So they say more than 60% fail to connect the strategy with the day-to-day work, with the execution. This is huge, isn't it? I mean, imagine all these offsites, people going to offsites and creating some great strategy slides, and then coming back and nothing happens. So this is bitter, really. 85% struggle to measure effectively at all. This is a huge number also. And 45% fail to track the projects. What's happening? What's in progress? Where are we, actually? And I think I know the reason. I found out what the reason is. The reason is in this picture. Yeah? Give me a word what you see in this picture. Yeah? Louder, louder. What is this one word? Mess. Chaos. Yeah? Disconnection. Yeah? We think we know the reasons and the solutions, and then we go in a box, in a meeting room, we plan everything, and then go out of it, the world looks suddenly different, right? And we all know, we are all working in the agile communities and agile jobs, so you probably all heard the VUCA world, right? And I want to say just one word out of it, complexity. It explains everything, actually. So in these kind of complex worlds, all the traditional systems, strategy execution models, and so on, does not work anymore. Why? Because Peter Senge actually summarized it very well in his book, Fifth Discipline. Any fans of Peter Senge? Anyone read the book? Yeah. I recommend everyone to read it. It's a great one. Nothing to do really with Agile directly, but he emphasizes the importance of learning, becoming a learning organization. He says this is actually the competitive edge of an organization if we can learn faster than our competitors. And that's the key. And maybe we don't know, but we all started with Agile because of these reasons. Maybe we forgot in the middle of the way why we do Agile, but if you don't do Agile to learn fast, then we are not doing actually Agile. So when this is the challenge, becoming a learning organization, why do I think that OKR is a good way for it? I saw the hands that many of you know already. OKR became a commodity, really, that everyone somehow get in touch with OKRs. And maybe that's the trouble also. So for me, OKR is not just a goal management system. It's not that you set your targets, you give it to the teams or the people, and they work on it and to achieve these goals at the end, to have a feedback conversation if you get your bonus or not. That's not OKRs. Let's write it down, okay? OKR to me is a learning framework. OKR are built for learning. This is what Christina Wodke says in her book, Radical Focus. And she is the actual OKR guru, I would say. Thanks, Nicola, for naming me that way. But Christina Wodke, she wrote the Radical Focus book. It's the first OKR book ever, actually. But it got lost. And the Measure What Matters came up 2 years later. But actually, her book is first. And she writes actual practical information in this book. And she says OKR are for learning. Let's look into that. The principles of OKRs, objective and key results, is feedback loops. That's the very first important thing. It's not only in the delivery stage on the team level, we have feedback loops on the strategy level this time, right? The loops are maybe longer than just a week or two, but this is the main principle of working with an adaptive strategy framework, which is OKR to me. The second principle is it is about focus and alignment, which means it's not about having everything that you do formulated as an OKR. That's not OKR. OKR is about creating a strategic focus, and everyone works towards that goal. And this way we create alignment. And the last one, as you see, the key results have metrics in it. We track them, but not for the sake of tracking, not in order just to achieve some numbers. We track these numbers in order to learn. We measure to learn, to see what's working and what not. That's the main reason, actually, why OKRs are a measurable system. It's not to celebrate at the end that we achieved 100%. That's not it. But did we actually do something valuable? That's about it. So for anyone who's new to OKRs, let's see what OKRs are. These are two elements, objectives. It's a qualitative description of what we want to achieve. This is our goal. And they are inspirational, aspirational, and of course aligned with the strategy. We do OKRs in order to execute our strategy, so they need to be connected. The key results are connected to the objective, and we write 2 to 3 key results per objective. And these are the measurable indicators that tell us if we are achieving our objective or not. All right? I'll give you an example. Let's imagine we are Bogoy and Nicola and Milena and organizing Agile Business Agility Bulgaria for next year. And we want it to be sold out faster than Taylor Swift. All right? This is our objective. Can we manage that, do you think, Nicola? Yeah? So this is our ambitious goal, right? So this is every day, Nicola and Bogoy stand up out of the bed and say, this is our goal. We want to create even a bigger, better conference next year. No, you don't need to. It's just a number, of Taylor Swift. It's just a relevance. I don't need to listen. No, I don't either, so. And the key results could be to that, because, how do we know, actually, that we are selling out faster than Taylor Swift? Our social media engagements are an indicator for that. right? If we increase our engagements more than last year, this could be an indicator that we have more visitors next year, that people talk about our conference. The pre-register, I don't know, maybe you launch a pre-register page already today and then send it everyone and they already can click on it and say, I'm interested to come again, right? This is also an indicator for that. And the last one is maybe we sell 60% of the tickets already to early birds. It's already also, again, an indicator, early indicator for us to say that we are achieving our objectives. As you see, all these key results are nothing that, like, we create a landing page. We announce the speakers, nothing like this. Or we post in LinkedIn something really funny about the conference, right? Because these are the things that we do. These are the actions we take in order to achieve these results. So take a picture of this slide. Key results are not the actions we take. Key results are the outcomes of those actions. This is a very critical point of OKRs, and many do that wrong. And if you don't get that right, just leave it out then. Just don't do OKRs then. Okay? You can do anything else. Don't bother with OKRs because it's not easy to implement OKRs in a company. Okay, so it's my time to test you now. What is a key result here from these 4 options? A. Yes, why? Yeah. What would be the action for it? Right? And these are the very easy things that we come up first in brainstorming sessions when we ask ourselves, what should we do? What can we do to make Business Agility Bulgaria successful? These are the first ideas we come up with to publish, to make a video of it, and so on. But you can post 10 videos. If it doesn't create any engagement, it's not worth it then. Right? The crux is that you find that one thing that works, and the key results, the metrics and the key results show you if you are doing the right things. And that's actually the crux of OKRs. Good news is, this is teachable. You can do it. You can learn it. I can teach it to your teams. But it's not only about OKRs itself. It's not about good written OKRs. It's about the whole system. Because even I've seen very good teams, writing very good OKRs, but at the end it didn't work either, because the system didn't support it. So you are not looking into just learning a new framework and articulating goals in a different way. You are actually adapting your system to work that way. You are changing how you execute your strategy, how you work with strategy. That's the way actually what you are changing. And after doing 9 years of OKRs in organizations, I worked with, I don't know, over 30 or so. I always thought I get in there and I will teach OKRs. I will, show them, make a strategy workshop, and guide them through the OKR cycle. But after a while, I realized that's not it. That's not only that. I actually do a lot more than that. And I created that system, the model, what I'm actually doing with the organizations. And OKR is just one piece of it. It's just one piece of the whole puzzle. Let me show that. It's called the solar system. Every letter is for, as you see, for an element. It's strategy, organization, leadership, action, and the rhythm. These 5 elements need to play with each other harmonically. Then we can make it work. Then it makes sense, after all, doing good OKRs. Otherwise, you have a local optimization maybe somewhere, but not overall for your strategy, for your company strategy. And remember, in order to become a competitive organization, we need to learn how to learn fast. And this can help then the organization. Right? It's not only about OKRs. So let me go through all these elements first. Strategy, I mean, we are saying OKR is a strategy execution framework, and I get into an organization, and they tell me, we don't have a strategy. Just teach the teams and do an OKR. Okay, I know then it won't work, of course, right? Because I'm saying strategy first, then OKRs. You can't do OKRs as strategy execution framework without having a strategy in place. So let's start there. Then we can make sure that our OKRs also work well. And I'm not talking about a corporate strategy. We don't need to start on the highest level. If you have a product that you are working on, the product strategy is your starting point, not the OKRs. And the point with strategy is they show me lots of slides. I've seen many strategy papers. I can just exchange the logos, then no one will realize really. Yeah? Because I see like KPIs in it. They are saying nothing. Doubling the revenues, that don't tell me anything. These kind of KPIs. Or a plan, a list of strategic initiatives, what they want to do. That's not helpful. A strategy needs to give a clear direction. What's our focus? What's our market? What's our customers? What's our value we bring to this market, to these customers? And what do we focus on first? Right? So defining the playing field, actually, how Roger Martin says. It's a set of choices. We say, this is the way we are going, and this is not. Right? So we can't do everything at the same time. The strategy is important for OKRs because if you do well, the OKRs on the team part, everyone is doing a good job. But the point is that we manage that all these teams do the similar things that contribute to the overall strategy. If you don't have this strategic alignment in place, what can happen is this. Yeah, and we don't want that. We don't want the teams going all in different directions and fighting with each other. This is my priority now. I need these resources. Give me that, give me that. That's not what we want. We want everyone working towards the same goal. And what I see in organizations sometimes is that they compensate this lack of strategy with these kind of cascading models. Right? They go and they say, oh, this is our company OKR. From the company OKR, one key result becomes a department OKR. From the department OKR, one key result becomes the team OKR, and so on. And even goes to the individual level. Don't do that, please. OKR is not about cascading strictly top-down. It's not that. There is a cascading part to it, of course, because on a strategic level, we need to say what our strategy is, and then let the teams understand it, help them to understand what the problem is, what problems we want to solve, and then let them create their OKRs. So you don't need to control them to do exactly that. That's not about OKRs. That's not only the problem. If you do that kind of an OKRs cascading system, what can happen is this. What do you see in this picture? What happens? Right? You change one thing and you create a chain. Everything else needs to change too then. So suddenly, on the upper level, something changed, and you need to change everything else. And you were just in an OKR workshop a couple of weeks ago, sitting there for 4 hours to decide what your OKRs is, and then suddenly, in a strategy meeting, the C-level says, oh, by the way, that's not the OKR anymore. This is something else now. This is terrible. This is really not giving the people the room, the space to create ideas. It is actually commanding and controlling. This is not what we want. This is not what we need, actually. Because alignment is not about telling others what to do or seeing what others do. It is channeling the efforts in the same direction. That's alignment. And for that, we need strategic clarity, strategic focus, strategic direction. And I said, enough strategy. I don't know if you are making the ticks for it, how many times I said strategy, and we can do a drinking game for that too. The next one is strategy again, shaping the structure. This is the second element of the solar system, is the organization. An organization, to me, is not the org chart. The organization is the teams formed dynamically in order to work on these strategic topics. So strategy defines how the organization will look like. We can keep the org charts, I don't mind it. Have your line managers and everything, we need that too, of course. We need some sort of a structure there. But when it comes to strategic work, how do we execute it, has nothing to do with the org chart. The org charts never, ever reflect the reality, how we actually work together and create value. We are mostly working cross teams, cross department, and then sit in long sync meetings to say, I did that, and here's your handoff. Now you can work more on that. And then at the end we see, oh, nothing happened. Right? So I created that kind of an OKR solar system design, which doesn't care about the org charts. It's org chart agnostic. I'm just asking the question, what are the strategic topics and who do we need to work on these things? And then we form the teams dynamically. The strategy change, if the strategy changes dynamically, then the teams also change with it, right? So there are different models, but this is a whole other story I can tell. This is another talk, actually, about the OKR solar system. But I want you to take one thing out of it. The OKR solar system actually enables cross-alignment, cross-team, cross-department alignment. It breaks all the silos that we have in your organizations, because we still have them. We have an agile transformation behind us. We have all these Scrum teams working great together. We have cross-functional Scrum teams even. But we created new silos, I'm sorry to say that. We created new silos with these Scrum teams. I've been there. Suddenly I had to connect 5 Scrum teams with each other because they were actually working on the same product. So, we need to break these silos in a different way and not only on a team level. With this OKR solar system, I work with many companies in many countries. And so to me, it emerged out of the practice, actually. It's not just a theory. I was, trying to help my clients and show that their troubles, their problems they wanted to solve. And we said, okay, then we might need actually different kind of teams. And out of this need, this OKR solar system emerged. And the feedback I get here, you see there. Finally, we can work on strategic topics. And we are not waiting who is the ownership of it. We are not hiring new people just to create a new team in order to work in a new strategic area, to create a new business model. We can use the potential we have in our organizations. There are many people interested in these topics. Find those, ask them who wants to shape that topic, and gather them to create an OKR team. They will learn from each other. They will see how things work beyond their teams. Right? They become more knowledgeable how the organization actually works and how the business actually works. In order to make that work, we need the leadership behind our backs. They need to support that, right? So, because leadership is powerful, they can make it or break it. What means make it or break it? I talked to a lot of executives, and they have the idea that they could buy one framework and then everything will be fixed. This is, of course, disappointing for them when they see it's not fixing it. They paid a lot of money maybe for huge frameworks promising that, but it won't work. So what the leadership nowadays needs is becoming strategic thinking leaders, not finding out how do I bring these people together to deliver something faster, but rather how can I explain what the strategic problem is and how can I communicate it. And according to some surveys, I think 68% was it, is the most wanted strategic leadership skill for the future, strategic thinking. And this is teachable. People can learn it. You are not born as a strategic leader. We can make everyone become a strategic leader, actually. And all this in the solar system, you see the part of action. This is where OKRs are coming in game. And there I've seen many bad things, really. Actually, Angel's keynote about the change management is about that. Because being an OKR coach, expert, is not enough to implement OKRs in an organization. You need to understand the change dynamics. You need to know how the change management will work in this organization and what's the best way for it. And everything that Angel said in his slides is that. Right? Start with early adapters. Start small. Then let it scale with your champions. Don't try to change people. Don't try to push OKRs to everyone. Let the people come to the change. Start small and let it scale with the time. Because even though I'm doing OKRs for 9 years now, I would never start with the whole organization at the same time with the OKRs. Because no OKR implementation was the same like the last one. It was always different because organizations are different. They are unique. The last element of this solar system is the rhythm. Another misconceptions of OKRs is having this OKR workshop, everyone is happy, we will now work on it, we have now our goals clear, but then they forget it. No one looks into it. And this won't work, of course, right? We need a rhythm, and it's not only on the team level. We need a rhythm for the whole organization that is all connected with each other. If we are doing a daily work in order to achieve our OKRs, we need a weekly check-in maybe on a strategic level, on a monthly level, a monthly check-in. Because what we do in the OKR teams does have an impact on the strategic insights. What we learn, because we said we use OKRs to learn, what we learn here, we will use for the next strategic steps we will decide. For this, you are not allowed to have just one day event once a year. You can't have your strategy packed up in a slide in one day, once a year. So we need to make strategy part of our daily conversation. Every day we need to talk about what we are doing actually in order to execute our strategy. We need to embed this in conversation to all our meetings, maybe even in a daily stand-up, maybe in a sprint review. Everything that we have in hand where we work in order to achieve some goals, to execute the strategy, we need to talk about it. And not just in maybe every quarter or once a year. So, to make that rhythm actually part of your organization, I'm saying 10 minutes a strategy of day in a day keeps the trouble away. All right? Yeah, so thank you for listening to my solar system. I'm writing on it, so there's a QR code that you can download my existing book on OKRs. This is an OKR guide. You can subscribe to news about my new book, Solar System. And of course, we can also connect in LinkedIn and have a chat, have a conversation, and on the whole, hopefully you too. So that's it from my side. I just want to have one picture together. Is that possible? Can we do that? Yeah? Show me your enthusiastic hands and how you will execute the strategy from now on. Yay! All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Cansel. It was really amazing. You can Also, now we'll see also the other QR code, but first connect to Cansel. Then we'll see also the QR code for the feedback for the session, which I already know what it will be, very high, of course. We even have a minute, so is there any question? We have time for 1 or 2 questions.
There's a question.
There is a question, Rally.
Yeah. Thanks for your courage.
Yeah, it was a very interesting session.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. My question is, what is the best period for setting OKRs? Should it be for
Best?
1, 3 months?
Oh, you mean the cadence? How many times we should have OKRs? I have very different opinions on these things. It depends, first of all, on the organizational agility. So if we are working on products that we can have a feedback from the market quickly, then you need shorter OKR iterations. But if we are working in a hardware situation, maybe, where we need a little bit longer feedback from the market, how the products are being consumed, then we need longer. And I've seen both in the same organization, because I was working with for a hardware organization, which had, of course, software teams too. The software teams had shorter OKR cycles, while the hardware teams had a longer OKR cycle. So, and this is also what I mean with the solar system. We have the sun in the middle. This is our strategy. And the teams align around the sun. They orbit around the sun. And they all have their own pace. That's the most important thing. We don't need to put the people to the same cadences, and definitely not into the quarterly cadences. This is just an artificial way of how we look into calendars, but it doesn't mean that our strategy or the feedback with what we get from the market will also come at the end of the quarter, right? So these are separate things, and also the business KPIs that we report to our stakeholders and so on. These are different KPIs. These are not our OKRs. These are different business KPIs that can be reported on a quarterly basis, but has nothing to do with OKRs.